I am welcoming Tyler Shields to the podcast. Tyler is the founder of Lodgism, and let's take it from there. Hi, Taylor. I
Hi,
said,
Jessica.
how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Well, first, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm Tyler Shields. I'm the managing owner of Lodgism, and we are a property management company that is specifically focused on short-term and mid-term rentals. We're a New England-based company that focuses primarily in the vacation markets and the city markets.
I love it. I love it. And how did you kind of find your way into this?
So my journey into short-term rentals began a few years ago when I saw a few of my buddies that were listing their properties as short-term rentals. And in doing so, I saw this tremendous demand and massive opportunity for the revenue potential that they were doing through their business. Naturally, they moved out of state, and I've always had my hands involved in property management and maintenance. So I ended up picking up the responsibilities to help taking care of those units for them. Um, Through that time, there's been, obviously a massive influx of supply to the market. And Lodgism has been founded on trying to provide a high quality experience for guests that are staying at the unit while being able to take over the maintenance and management responsibilities that come along with the short-term rentals for the homeowners to really make that investment make sense for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we love that. Obviously, I work in real estate. So whenever we can be really profitable for our clients, that's awesome. So you're a relatively young company.
Absolutely. We've started around a year and a half ago, and we've been growing since then. We're definitely actively growing in the New England region and looking on to build new relationships, whether that be with homeowners or agents that are in our markets.
I love it. So what do you think the key to your success has been?
I would say a passion for detail has to be number one, whether that be, the guests that are staying at our properties or the homeowners that we're working with. Um, it's something that I think, everyone's looking for a high quality experience, whether they're coming for their vacation or it's the homeowners turning over their asset for someone to manage that property for them. They expect, the results to be high quality and performance to be done well. Another thing that has been huge, especially over the past couple of years, is the data and systems that have become available for analyzing some of these markets. That works, not only from providing, whether that be agents or homeowners, a chance to look at what the revenue potentials may be, but also what seasonality may be in some of these markets. And now we're at the point where we're able to take some of that information going back 4 or 5 years in some cases to really build out what the homeowners may be looking to pay for not only, utilities, ongoing expenses, but what their occupancy rates are going to be throughout that same time period. And then finally is definitely just transparency with the individuals we're working with. Like I said, it's typically an asset for the individuals that they're turning over. So we like to get ahead of things and just keep an open line of communication with the individuals we're working with to make sure that everyone's clear on what's going on with their properties, how they're performing, if there's anything they can do to, increase their occupancy or improve upon the properties and, gladly help them in facilitating those repairs.
Yeah, I think everything you just said is so important when you're an entrepreneur starting a small business, right? Like first you just mentioned details and a focus on those details, and that's a true differentiator, right? Like
Right.
there's plenty of property management companies that uh, that are just doing. Well, let me take it back. I think about like even cleaners, right?
Sure.
So you have cleaners that come in and they kind of clean, and to the naked eye it looks good, and then you have like deep cleaning or like detailed cleaning, and that really differentiates you of not just doing the bare minimum, but going above and beyond and paying attention to those small details, I think is huge. And then the second thing you mentioned is data. Again, I think this is so important, and especially in our industry, you have, not all agents are created equally. And
Right.
so, you hear this information about Airbnbs and you can have money and da 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 da. And it's like, okay, but what is the detailed information on my particular market? Like, does that information that the guy is talking about from California make sense here in New
Right.
Hampshire? Is that accurate? And so having data, real information, is so helpful in translating that and being able to properly advise your clients. And then communication, like you said, is just like the foundation, at least for me. Like, if I'm not properly communicating the information that I have to clients, nobody wants that, right? Like, that's
Right.
the worst. Especially with an asset, as you mentioned, that is probably one of the biggest financial assets that
Sure.
clients particularly have. So being able to communicate that data and pay attention to the details, I love. And the other thing that I've really loved that you've talked about, and or that I've noticed in talking to you, is just how you really consider yourself a partner to the client, right? It's not like, okay, I'm the client and I'm paying you to do these things and you're just going to do that. You're really looking at it as like, how can I improve the performance for my client? So yes, I'm going to do the things I'm contracted for, but in addition, I'm going to make suggestions and share data and share information and have an open line of communication about what could be done differently to improve profitability, which is huge.
Right. And it's really a reviews-based business where at the end of the day, if the homeowner's not making money, we're not making money either.
Yeah.
So we really want the properties to perform as best as they possibly can. And that doesn't only mean, like the details of making sure it's clean every time someone walks in, but also, doing the ongoing maintenance of properties to get ahead of things where guests aren't finding themselves in a position where things are breaking down, and proactively doing maintenance around properties to make sure that those things aren't happening. And working with the homeowners, like you said, as a true partnership where we want to grow with them as they go on their journey as well, whether that be looking at new opportunities that they can purchase properties in, areas that may not have financially made sense before, but does now, or really just be able to build a lasting relationship to help them maintain that asset for them through the years. And then also being able to offer them the upside potential of some additional revenue when they're not using that property.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what has been the hardest part of being a small business owner?
Oh, nothing. It's been a piece of cake. No, I think definitely in the short-term rental market has been the unpredictability that comes along with it. Especially from the guest perspective, you're typically dealing with canceled flights and weather that comes up or unplanned life events. And then from the home side, you're dealing with the properties that, everything breaks, right? And there's typically at the most inconvenient times, like 2 o'clock in the morning or so. So being able to have the network of individuals to service those properties and being able from our end to provide a 24/7 support for the guests and homeowners that want to contact us, where it's really around the clock responsibility that we have to be available. So through the years has been establishing a great team that helps me out with these things, where I've been able to take a step back in some areas and really be able to rely on, effective communication that we know is going out to both the guests and homeowners when these situations do arise, and address those issues as they come. And the other thing is definitely with short-term rentals has been the evolving landscape of regulations and laws that are definitely specific from market to market, which has been one thing that's really difficult. So for our end, we try to stay ahead of these things, and not only to, inform the homeowners that may be looking at that, but also due to the fact that there's not really clear guidance out there in all these markets of what that may look like. So we really try to take a proactive approach of doing our research, contacting the towns and cities to find out what their regulations are, what they may be for in the future, and then providing our homeowners with alternative plans if regulations do go in place, such as, a 28-day minimum to utilize relationships we've built with, hospitals and traveling nurse agencies to provide different types of accommodations in those areas.
Yeah, I love that. And so valuable, right? Because especially if you're considering new property owners, like let's say an investor that's looking to get into this for that particular reason. In New Hampshire in particular, we have such a shortage of units available
Sure.
for purchase that being aware of the different rules and regulations in different towns and different municipalities is important, because it's not as simple as a couple of years ago where someone might say, we want to purchase and we're only looking in Laconia, or we're only looking in, Salem. Now it's like, oh, we're looking all around
Yeah.
this kind of area.
Anywhere in the state of New Hampshire might work.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So what does your day look like, a day in the life of Tyler?
So I'm definitely a big planner, which really goes against the unpredictability aspect of this. The night before, I like to set my day for the next day, and very often I find myself not sticking to what the agenda was. So I typically, try to answer all my emails and communications in the morning, and then I have a meeting with our team to just go over the day of what we got going on for check-ins and checkouts. If we have any projects that are going on, such as repairs or maintenance at properties, and really do some planning for the upcoming week and just do a 24-hour review if anything came up. I like to then just send out a report to our homeowners if there's anything that does come up, so we can let them know if anything did happen with the property, or if anything looks like for the future with upcoming reservations. And then the second thing I do is communicate with our contractors, whether that be maintenance or our cleaners, which are, pivotal for maintaining our properties. Fortunately, we've built a great team of cleaning professionals that help us with the upkeep of the properties. But like you said, that's probably the number one most important detail when people are walking into these units. It's, head to toe inspection you get on every probably 2 or 3 week basis when someone checks in or out. So we have to make sure the cleaners are, aware of what that schedule is. And a lot of our properties work on same day check-in and checkouts, where we'll have someone checking out at 11 and the next person is on their way in to check in at 3. So we really have a short period in that 4-hour window to get that property turned over. So planning, well in advance on how we're going to be able to accommodate those things, and also accommodate that last minute booking that may come up as well. So just being able to adapt to, the ever-changing landscape is very helpful in trying to plan the day. And then finally is definitely just more business planning and growth of the company, trying to build relationships with local individuals that are in the real estate market, and offer our services on how we may be able to help their clients or investors that may be looking to move into the short-term rental industry.
It's so funny. It's so similar, right? I think that people think, if you're an entrepreneur, and this is what I'm noticing too from all of these interviews, is whatever you do as an entrepreneur, the perception is that you just get to do that part, right? So as a real estate agent, I'm just looking at and showing houses. For you, I'm just cleaning and repairing houses, and a dog walker is just walking dogs. And the truth is that an entrepreneur, a huge at least chunk of our business is business planning. It is forecasting. It is sales. It is getting the clients. A huge part of what we do is not the servicing of
Right.
clients. It's the business. That's why big, huge businesses have CFOs and CEOs and, all these different roles. And when you're an entrepreneur, a small business, you're doing all of those things.
Right. And it's typically, not the most enjoyable things that you're picking up at the end of the day, right? Whether that be plunge in the toilet or whatever it may be.
Yes.
Uh, no, that you're absolutely right. So there's a lot that goes in with that. But, like I said, as time grows, we're able to set people in positions that really work for those areas and establish, these systems that really make our properties run effectively.
I love it. I love it. So how do you juggle that? How do you juggle your work life, your personal life?
Uh, that's definitely one that's ongoing work of art. No, it's hard to turn off with the 24/7 responsibilities. But like I said, I've had to work on establishing individuals that I can trust on and rely on, and doing those proactive steps to really cut down on what we're doing in the heat of the moment when these red flags come up versus trying to pre-plan for these things, whether that be like having the communications pre-wrote on guests that may have a hard time finding the parking spot or trouble checking into the electronic lock, having things ready to go so they're not, constantly messaging us, right? So really delegating those responsibilities and keeping a focus on that work-life balance. I mean, at the end of the day, it has to be a happy relationship of, incorporating the other aspects of life and getting to enjoy that and all that comes with this. Fortunately, one of the great parts of this business has been being able to travel all over the place and see these beautiful vacation markets. So that's something that has been a huge upside to this, where there's definitely a little pleasure involved with the work side as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, right? I feel like I always joke, right? Yeah, there's definitely times where you're like, I need a break from my business or whatever. But I also notice that a lot of times if I'm having a downtime at home, that I'll gravitate to doing work, right? Because I like it, because it's
Right.
interesting, because it's fulfilling, because it's what I want to do. And that certainly helps. And yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to go to beautiful vacation places for their, I'm checking out the beach.
Right. There could be
um,
worse places to be.
yeah, 100%. So what are the future plans for the business?
So we're very excited about the future growth of Lodgism. We're actively searching out new clients and partners in New England, and definitely focus on our channel partnerships through real estate agents or investors or contractors that may have long-term clients that they've been working with that could really benefit from some of these services, and really being able to spread that around as well when our clients are in the position of needing contractors in certain areas as we expand and grow to build out those relationships to provide for our clients as well. And then exploring, future offerings as we grow. We're definitely looking to make things as optimized as possible, not only for the guests, but the homeowners. So whether that be, like the ongoing monthly statements and being able to see exactly what their property's performance is doing to future predictions of what the demand looks like for certain markets and what they can expect on potential income and revenue. Those are really big focus for us, as well as, being able to constantly set our listings apart from the competition by improving on areas where we best see fit, whether that be certain areas that don't have enough pet friendly listings or accommodations that are friendly for families traveling with kids and having a crib available. We try to focus on these specific, I guess, niches of the market that really have a growing demand but not enough supply there.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, ready for our rapid fire?
Let's go.
Okay. What is your favorite place to vacation?
Well, I really never got too much out of New England growing up. You know, I'm a sucker for the coastal towns. I've traveled to a few places outside, but I really love the coastal towns around New England. Spent a lot of time in Old Orchard Beach and
Mm.
Narragansett and the Lakes regions and Winnipesaukee and Sebago Lake up in Maine. Um, so I would think anywhere that's related to water, and I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love those places too. What would you say is the number one word to describe you? One word to describe you.
Driven.
Oh, I love it. You have to be a business owner.
Yeah, especially on the days when things are looking down as well, just get up and keep going. And
Mhm.
typically, things will always work themselves out as they're supposed to.
I think so too. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I had someone tell me once when I was going through a tough period of some personal things in life, embrace change and never stop learning because adaptability is the key to success in any endeavor. And I find that very relevant in this role right now. Obviously, we talked about, the unpredictability that comes along with it and the ongoing changes in the market and just on the, crazy changes that are happening in the world around us now and the economy. And, it's tough to predict what things will look like on a day-to-day basis. So having the ability to adapt and be able to constantly try to stay with the flow of things, but also do some pre-planning on setting myself up to succeed as best as possible in however those situations may pan out.
I absolutely love that. And there's one constant in life, right? And that it's nothing ever stays the same.
Right.
So, so better get used to shifting and changing. I agree. Adaptability is huge. The ability to make the best out of any situation and to see the growth opportunities. I love that. What is the easiest way for people to get in touch with you and Lodgism?
So they can check out our website at www.lodgism.com. They can see all of our services and they're able to submit a request for a proposal where we can reach out. I like to personally reach out and work with all the homeowners on an individual basis to find out what their goals are for the property. And if they want to reach out directly, they can contact me at tyler@lodgism.com or by phone at 866-Lodgism.
I love it. Awesome, Tyler. Well, thank you for being here. I'm super excited for our continued relationship and to help each other. And I hope that people will learn from you and we'll all keep learning together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Jessica.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.